So this is our final meeting here. Um, the topic for tonight is called The Power to Heal. Hi, Kathy. It's so good to hear from everybody. So yeah, I'd love for everybody to just say hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Hello.
Hi. Yay. So, I'm going to put us on gallery. Right before I opened the webinar, I was writing possibilities. I just started writing possibilities for all of us. What possibilities could come from our time together, from the 9 weeks that we've been in a process together. And I'm so excited about the possibilities. So some of the things I wrote, here, I'll read you some of the possibilities that I wrote, because um, I'd like for us all, I'd like all of us to be in that place of possibilities. Possibilities lives in imagination. Imagination lives beyond intuition, very close to, in deep proximity and deep relationship. Imagination is in deep relationship with creation. So, creation is what our imagination accesses. That's how we access creation. So, when we begin to develop possibilities and think about possibilities and consider them and write them down and speak them and try the first step involved in a possibility, we're in um, like an embodied relationship with creation, and that is what spirit guided fitness is. So being the energetic equivalent in a body of the power of imagination and creation. That's very exciting. Most of the time, humans are forgetting. They lose connection with the energy that they are, and we spend time in that fight, flight, freeze energy in which we are always in reaction to our environment and to time. We're in reaction to time, the body, and the environment. And we turn that whole paradigm upside down. So we're moving away from creation and we're becoming um, reactive. So it's sort of like if you could never find your balance, every time you try to stand up, you lose your balance, like you are walking on golf balls or something. There's golf balls all over the floor. So every time you try to stand up, you just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So you're never able to get your equilibrium and to feel stable and settled and relaxed. And most of us live our lives, if we're not experiencing the golf ball right this moment, we're living waiting for the next golf ball to show up, because we know that the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to lose our balance and things are going to go wrong. And just by bringing our energy into possibilities, we begin to withdraw the attention from what could go wrong or what has gone wrong or what could go wrong again, and we start to put all of this energy. One of those laws of physics is that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So it's always doing something. Thought is always doing something. Energy is always doing something. So we have the option of using our energy, which is here anyway, to open up a space, open a world. It's a world. Energy is a world. And we have that option all the time to have a world, create a world. So I'm going to read a couple of the possibilities that I wrote. So here are a couple of possibilities: that there is a really powerful core group of people from this experience that achieve quote unquote impossible things, that there are leaders from this group who totally trust themselves and they create new groups and new teachings, that there are people who support each other from this group for a really long time to come, that there are others who support others. So maybe not even people in this group, but there are people in this group who support other people, that there is a spike in authenticity among the members of this community, that the authenticity, our authenticity has a ripple effect and it spreads amongst our family, friends, community, colleagues. It's common, one of the possibility, it's common for us to be unapologetically authentic. Another possibility, the way that we communicate goes directly into others' hearts. And others is in air quotes because there are no others. There's only I am that I am. That's it. And the I am that I am that this body mind seems to experience is the exact same I am that I am that your body mind seems to experience. Another possibility, we are completely without guile. We're not trying to be manipulative or tricky in any way. We're just simple and innocent. Another possibility, we are filled with light. That's a great one to breathe in and breathe out. How about this possibility? Our wholeness is a beacon. So our wholeness is that creation space. That's our wholeness. And when we rest in that wholeness, we become like a lighthouse. We start to be that stable space that provides the vibration and frequency of wholeness for everyone. Here's another possibility. It's easy for us to know our next steps. I like that possibility. It's easy for us to know what is the next step. Many wonderful opportunities arise for us. So take these possibilities and allow yourself to wrap them around you like a cozy blanket or sweater. And just, rub your chin against the softness of some of these possibilities that feel really good to your energy. So when something feels really good to you, just bask in it for a few breaths. Let it in. Give it a space in the softness of the heart. We feel momentum in our lives. Just let that one in. Just feeling and remembering the feeling of momentum. When things are building, you get that sense that things are building towards something really wonderful. When you have that sense like, I can tell really good things are coming from this. Well, as we feel the momentum in our lives, many wonderful opportunities arise for us. I just combined the last two possibilities that I wrote into one awesome possibility. And here's another. I'll read a couple more of these. Your job is to breathe in and breathe out, to soften the heart, relax the mind, to apply where needed, as needed. When we have to make decisions, it's easy to know what feels good. That's such a big deal. When you think about the way that we have made decisions, the whole, weighing pros and cons, that whole rigmarole. If I do this, then will that person get mad, or will I make money, or how do I know if this is the right place to move, or should I take that job, or should I stay with this person, or should I, should I go abroad or stay home? I mean, all these possibilities and opportunities and decisions that come up. Isn't it a wonderful thing that as things come up, you feel very clearly because your body shows you. You feel clearly what is the right next step for you. What feels good. It's easy to know what feels good. That's a powerful possibility. A possibility that's always available to us. On the same lines, here's another possibilities. Our bodies are relaxed and able to communicate. My body is relaxed and able to communicate. Communicate is a two-way experience. So when in communication, we're not just, blurting things out to others or telling or sharing. Communication is a it's a form of oneness. So our bodies are relaxed, so there's an open space and able to communicate, able to give and receive. That's powerful. As our bodies are relaxed and able to communicate, to give and receive, we become wise. We're wise. We're intuitive. We are receptive. We are sharp because we're present. And that presence, rather than being like a thought that has to be figured out, as presence, it happens immediately. Presence is a now kind of phenomenon. So let's check in now with our bodies. Close the eyes. If the eyes are not closed yet, close the eyes. And let's take some deep breaths. Take some nice deep breaths. If you want to roll the shoulders a few times. If you've rolled them in one direction, take them in the other direction. You might want to round the back. And with a beautiful inhale, lift the chest. Maybe lift the chin a little bit. Letting the neck stay soft and relaxed. We're not trying to crank the neck, but we're lifting through the front of the body, just letting everything get light. Opening the mouth on the exhale. Make people in the next room wonder what you're doing. So really let yourself open your mouth this time on the exhale and sigh it out. Eyes closed. Bring your awareness to the heart center. Just breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful, soft heart. Slowing down the breath. Letting that exhale breath be long. And finally, introducing that delicious aspect, invoking an image, a memory, perhaps something from your imagination. And whatever that is, it delights the heart. Delight of the light. It lights the heart. So bask in that memory, in that thought or image. Let's bask in that for 5 breaths here. And if you're not the type who wants to count their breaths, I'll let you know when I've counted 5 of my breaths. So just bask in the delight of that delicious thought. One more round of breath, one more inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And welcome everyone who just arrived on the call. You're right on time. Coming in while we're deepening the breath, resting in the heart. And feel free to spend as much time just basking in that, the energy of possibility and love and ease. And just notice if your shoulders or neck would enjoy a little self massage just to match that beautiful softness in the heart. So this is our final one of these formal webinars, and there will be more. There will be more after this, and when I'm ready to unveil the next, I'll be in touch. But this final of these 9 webinars, this one is called The Power to Heal. The Power to heal. Breathe in and breathe out, and let your body communicate. How does that feel? That phrase, the power to heal. I would really like to hear. Thank you, Rosalind. This class could be called Spirit Guided Living. I'd love to hear how your body receives that phrase, the power to heal. Does that feel like it belongs to you? Does it feel like it bounced off or it overwhelmed? Or did it find a space for itself? Or is it something that's still an intellectual idea? So I'd love to hear, how did that feel? If you want to type in the chat, how does that feel? The power to heal. And you know what, Rosalind? I've been thinking so much about spirit guided fitness and this choice of the word fitness. And I've plugged in different words for fitness, and I keep coming back to fitness because fitness is a state of being, of preparedness. It's a willingness and a readiness to be able to be healthy. So I think it really fits this, but fitness doesn't just refer to the body. And that's why I so vibe with what you're saying, spirit guided living. So, hi, Lily. And Lily, thank you so much for that absolutely beautiful email that you sent me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Lily says in the chat that the power to heal for her is a relief. It's soft and it's a reminder. She says it's a reminder of who I am. Amen. So beautiful. Healing, the word healing comes from the word whole. So it's the power of wholeness. And that reminds me of what Lily said. It's a reminder of who I am, of my wholeness. And Kathy says that's the power to heal. I agree with Lily. I'm so happy that you are in a state of receptivity where the power to heal feels like it's who you are. That's so beautiful. There are, times, moments when that feels inaccessible. There are times when I don't feel like I have access to that. And oh, I love this. Kathy saying it's soothing, it's comforting, and it feels like home. Rosalind says, so thank you, Kathy. Rosalind says, the power to heal reminds me that I can receive, that I have received, and that I can heal another. Wow. How what better way to know that we've received than by giving, right? If I can give, then I must have received. That's profound, Rosalind. And Kathy's saying that the power to heal always presents as a choice. Yes. The power to heal presents as a choice as I remember my reality. I have noticed in the last couple of days that there have been periods where I have felt like I don't have access to that power of choice or that power to heal. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I just want to finish looking at all these amazing comments. So Lily is saying, oh, yes, me too. Don't always have access. And hearing me say the power to heal, Lily is saying that brought her back to her home base inside of herself. And there's still a willingness. So Lily's expressing an opening, a receptivity, so that the words found their home. And Marilyn is saying, yes, it's a choice. And Kathy is saying, yes, yes, it's a choice. It's a one of the many ways of being that we can choose. So the power to heal is a different energy than the power to think about stuff, right? Thinking about stuff puts a distance between me and everyone and everything. So I'm interested, like when I felt like I didn't have access to the power to heal, it was because I was up in this area right here. I was in that separated place where I kept thinking, if only I were really awesome, I could have been able to blankety blank. And then if I changed that state, it was always because I went from up here and I brought it down here. So down here meaning I brought it to my heart, I brought it to my belly, I brought it to my solar plexus, that whole area. I brought it down into the body, the area of the body. So Marilyn's saying, why do I not choose the right path every time? And Esther said the power to heal presupposes the power to receive healing. Yes, that those are the same. Giving and receiving are the same. They're not, we can't separate the giving and the receiving. Why do I not choose the right path every time? So, beloved, you are choosing the right path every time. Healing, the decision to heal only shows up because something felt like it needed to be healed. And each challenge, each time I turn out the lights and I slip into the darkness, I get to come back with more wisdom than I left with. I get to come back with more experience. I get to take a step more confidently in the direction of what I want. I have to explore what I don't want. I have to know what I don't like. That is where the momentum, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's why the dawn follows the darkness. So part of healing or wholing, knowing that there's a wholeness, means that when I seem to be wrong, that is the moment that healing is most needed, and is also most available, even though it doesn't always seem like it. So one of the things that my partner and I have been doing over these last 8 or 9 days since we were in Mass General, and by the way, we got out of Mass General on Christmas Eve, so we were able to be home Christmas Eve and Christmas. And thank you, everybody, for all of your love and your light, your prayers, just knowing that I had this community, that this was where I was receiving, I was giving and receiving so much from this community, was the saving grace for me. When big events, big health events or financial events or relationship events show up, the best medicine is, and I'll speak for myself, but I think this is a universal truth. The best medicine is for me to know myself in service, because it keeps me from forgetting that there's more to life than this circumstance. So as long as I'm in some form of serving, and in turn being served, the more I can see myself as being in this kind of communication, the giving and the receiving in this relationship, the less likely it is that I will forget myself completely and become completely engulfed in a circumstance and a situation. Does that make sense to everybody? So I think I'm still interested in Marilyn's question about why do I not choose the right path every time? The right path is always choosing you. And we're getting infinite numbers of chances to walk through the darkness and be the light. And where we're headed is something that Yul and I, this is where I was going, something Yul and I have been practicing, which is whatever shows up, just saying, and I love that. Whatever it is, no matter how seeming not good it might be, and especially the thoughts that come into our own heads that are catastrophic, frightening, self-judgment, criticizing others, things that are annoying, things that you just think you're never going to get over. Just adding, and I love that, is the power to heal. That's the power to heal. We have that available. So let's practice that right this red hot minute. Let's practice adding, and I love that, to a couple of things that maybe we've got a couple of challenges that maybe we could pick one that's like, you know how we have things that every season of life we keep having that same thought, that same annoying thought. Maybe it's that the 10 extra pounds that we just, that always seem to crop up, like every time you're like, gosh, why can't I just lose that 10 pounds? What's that all about? How come I don't look the way I really want to look? And it could be something it's something chronic like that, and then something acute about, it could be anything. The holidays. Some of us maybe we haven't had the holiday that we thought we were going to have. Maybe things didn't quite turn out the way we planned. Maybe we've got a little story going about the holidays. Maybe the holidays have some stuff. Who doesn't have stuff? But so maybe there are thoughts going on. So just let yourself find those unpleasant, challenging thoughts, and then add on to that, and I love that. And I love that. Don't be afraid to walk into the darkness and to love it, just to love whatever's in there. And let it turn into healing, the power to heal. So Rosalind's saying, can acceptance, saying yes, be short of love? I can totally accept my daughter. I don't think I see a difference between acceptance and love. Like the quality, the nature of love is pure acceptance. Like in the presence of acceptance, there's no judgment. And love is basically the allowing of everything. We think of love in a limited way as like personal bodies, but love is the saying yes to everything. So, okay, here's Rosalind's statement. I can totally accept my daughter passing away, but do I love her being gone from this world? If there is no fight, is that love? okay if yes is love. Yeah. So Rosalind, let me know if I'm feeling, hearing, receiving. I'm wondering if you're also asking that if you're not resisting in a fight with your daughter being gone from the world, as you put it, that means that you don't love her. Because if you really loved her, you would be never able to accept that she is quote unquote gone from the world. Is that what you're is that part of what you're asking? And while Rosalind is posting, and I'm going to say in the spirit of Rosalind's post, be willing to be a little vulnerable here. If you want to post something that you want to say, and I love that, post it and let it come from your heart. Mm. Mm. No, you can't say you love having her gone. But you can say yes to her passing. So Rosalind's saying, I just can't say I love having my daughter gone, but I can say yes to her passing away. Maybe it's not a total yes. And I love that. It's not a total yes. And I love that. I feel that in my solar plexus as I'm reading this. I feel that in the lump in my throat right now. And the willingness to to soften and to be in relationship with it's not a total yes. That's healing. It's your willingness to walk through all of these moments of your relationship with how you feel about your daughter not being in the world. It's our willingness to say yes, and I love that, to the things that want to harden and resist. That's the power to heal. When I think about the things that have kept many of us from taking action on our own behalf for our own well being, what's kept us from taking action is that we don't believe that we can love what we find unlovable in ourselves, in others, in the world. We just don't know if we could actually allow some of the things that we see and feel and hear out there and in our own minds. And a friend of mine came to the hospital, and when my partner was in the hospital, and I told him I was going to go to the chapel and meditate. And I understood that later he said he would not, he said, no, I'm not going. And I was fine with that. But he said to Yule that he wouldn't meditate because he couldn't be with his own thoughts. He just couldn't do it. It takes courage to let your thoughts scurry around and shriek and, rattle their sabers and grip the bars of the cage and shake them. And it takes courage. And if we're willing to be that space, the space of the breath and the heart, what we find is that those feelings are not bigger than we are. And what we find is that there is a wholeness in which all of those difficult feelings are located. They aren't the whole sky. There's this whole sky, and they are appearances and disappearances. And if we are willing and able, every time we recognize the appearance, we have a chance, an opportunity to say, and I love that, and I say yes to that, and I accept that. Thank you, Kathy. That's our power to heal. Each time is to say thank you. And so that brings me to the final ask for our series. This series, honestly, will never end. This is an ongoing. I don't remember who said spirit guided living. Who said that a long time? Rosalind said that. This is exactly what it is. It's spirit guided living. This never ends. But the final ask, as this particular container is shifting and moving, is that we set a goal. And you're going to choose your own. But set a goal for saying thank you. It might be a goal of the number of thank yous. Maybe you say, I want to say thank you to 50 people over the next few days, whether it's by text or phone call or in person or email or postal mail. I want to say thank you. Or it could be, I want to be present and accepting and allowing as I say thank you to the circumstances and the events that I've never been able to say thank you to, or that saying thank you to will cause me to have to grow, and it will challenge me to be in that wholeness that contains everything. I'm going to give you an example. What's been coming up for me is to say thank you to all soldiers of the Confederacy in the Civil War, to all members of the Ku Klux Klan, to everyone I've seen in pictures of lynchings. What's been coming up for me is to say thank you, perhaps writing letters, perhaps prayers, but saying thank you because I can feel the freedom that's available by thanking or loving what seems unlovable. When Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 26 years, he understood that his option was to be a bitter, resentful prisoner. And bitter, resentful also means sick, not well, prisoner, someone who is trapped, a victim. And what he chose was to ask himself, who would I need to become? Who would I need to be in order to become the president of South Africa on behalf of everyone? Who would I need to be? What would I need to let go of? Who would I need to love? Who would I need to thank? Who would I need to forgive? What thoughts would no longer be welcome in my heart and my mind? What ways of being simply must be allowed to be let go? Because being everyone's president wouldn't include those ways of being or feeling or thinking. And I'm understanding my purpose to be the same, to be love. And from love's point of view, what would I have to let go of? What would I have to be willing to surrender in order to be that allowing yes? And what is available in my willingness to step into that unknown? So it's really only unknown to the mind, to the one that wants to think about, this thing. Remember, we were talking about every time this week I felt like I was unable to access my healing, it was always because I was in this area here. As soon as I start coming into this area here, where it's no longer a thought, it's a being, it's a sense of being, of I am, there's nothing to hold that repetitive, angry, frightened, judgmental thought. There's nothing there to hold on to. there's wisdom, there's a balance. There might be tension or tightness, but because it's being felt and received, it's as if there's a mixture, and as it mixes, it washes out the insanity, and I'm left with healing. It isn't that I pretend like I didn't have that feeling, or I'm trying to get rid of that feeling. I'm a space that's welcoming it by saying, and I love that. And I love that here. This can't in any way fathom that. And so I'm going to read Lily's and then speak to Rosalind's, her comment. So Lily says, I've chosen to take space from a very important relationship in my life and haven't known how to communicate what's going on for me. And I feel pain when I believe I'm doing it wrong. And I love that. I feel pain when I believe I'm doing it wrong. And I love that. I agree, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Isn't that last part of that sentence, is that not all of suffering? I feel pain when I believe I'm doing it wrong. That's every suffering I've ever had. Even if I'm telling the other person they're wrong, I'm feeling like I'm doing something wrong because I feel horrible. And I just feel so excited to see that sentence followed by, and I love that. How exciting. How joyous. You know, this whole season that we're in, regardless of what tradition you practice, this whole season is about the light in the darkness, because this is the darkest time of year, the least amount of sunshine, at least here in this hemisphere. And all the traditions of celebration at this time of year are pointing to where is the light when it's dark. Whether you're lighting candles for Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or the Star of David or all the other traditions that I apologize that I don't name them all. There are many, many. All of them are asking us not to avoid the dark, like, don't ignore it, celebrate it, because in the dark, that's where we can see, wow, there is a light, and the light is me. I am light. And so thank you, Rosalind, for following up with that. Yes, she says, my mind says no. No, there's, the mind says, how on earth can I say yes to the passing away of my child? But the heart, which is the I am, can say yes. It's not, yes, I wanted that to happen. It's, Yes, there is space here. There is room here for everything. There's room here for the Ku Klux Klan, for the Confederacy, for the Civil War, for everyone who celebrated at lynchings. There's room here. There's room here. Here, there isn't one or the other, right or wrong, black or white, good or bad. That doesn't exist here. There's wholeness here. There's a willingness to know that everything that I've ever witnessed or heard of is also contained here. There's a light in every darkness. The perspective that this has is very limited. So this is like special operations. I only need this for very specific things, like logistical, physical details, things that have to get done. But my wisdom and my knowing and my operating system is this. Jennifer says, I'm exhausted and overwhelmed and am blaming my husband for not giving me a break when I know that it is I that need to give myself a break. And I know better after having repeated this pattern over and over. And I love that. I know better after having repeated this pattern over and over, and I love that. I bet you every one of us has an equivalent to I've repeated this pattern, or I should know better because I've repeated this pattern over and over. But what's disrupting the pattern in this moment right here, right now, is what she finished it with. And I love that. The reason we have repeated patterns is that we have not met them with the love that they are seeking. That's why first we get punched in the arm, then, we get something falls and knocks us on the head, then the wall caves in. That's why it tends to get progressively more intense, because that pattern repeats so that we can finally begin to create the pattern that says, and I love that, because it's just a part of me that has been asking to come home. That part of me wants to come home. And when I don't let something come home, it sits on my porch and bawls its eyes out. And if I still don't let it come home, it starts to gnaw at the shingles of the house. And if I still don't let it come home, it tries to dig a tunnel into the basement. And I have a flooded basement, and I have shingles, and I have a crying. That's what happens if I don't let it come home. And so that's all it's asking for, is the time and the space so that I can bring it in. And that the 10 pounds that I never seem to be able to lose, that's all they want. They want to be loved. They want to be brought home. That's all they want. Otherwise, they show up as shame, embarrassment, neurosis, fear, hiding. They're just trying to dig a tunnel back into my heart. So, and so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rosalind, and thank you, Lily, and thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Marilyn. I thank you all so much. I miss you already.
We have to do something again soon. Um, but I want everybody to take a turn saying thank you because, well, this is our task or ask for the week. And you're going to create however you want to do it. You're going to come up with your own unique way. You and your energy wisdom field are going to say, this is how I want to do this, the thank yous. But I want to do them together with us right now. Even just speaking thank you to each of you, I feel teary. I feel so much appreciation. I feel so connected. I don't feel in any way separate from you at all. I feel like there's only one that's been having a conversation tonight. That's how it feels. I don't care what this says. This feels like there's only been one I am having a conversation tonight. And that is the gift of a lifetime. That's what I want to thank all of the things that have come before, no matter how dark or quote unquote ugly, all of those things have brought us all to the consciousness that we have at this very moment. And that is so worthy of celebrating. Does that make sense to everybody? So I know it's 1:15. So let's all just post on our chat. Just post a thank you, however you want it to feel, look, sound. You may just put hearts, whatever. But just go ahead and let yourself have that, the gift of thanking. Mm. 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 Thank you, Laura Rose. You're so welcome. Thank you. Mm. Mm. So I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read all of these thank yous so you can hear your thank yous. So Rosalind shares, thank you all for this important piece of allowing Melissa is her daughter, of allowing Melissa to leave with love and thanks. Breathe in and breathe out. And whatever emotion might be appearing right now, allow it. and say yes to it. And I love that. I love that. I love that this is so powerful. I love that I don't know if I have the courage and the strength that Rosalind has. I love that. From Kathy. Thank you for putting into words the thoughts that free me. I don't think there's anything more important than freedom. From Lily, thank you, dear ones, for showing up, for sharing, for looking, for loving. Thank you for holding space so sacred. Thank you for what you bring. Thank you for being you. Just allow it in. I had like a little smile just came up. Beloved Laura, thank you for sharing your time and helping me see myself. Thank you. It is sacred to show wholeness, to show the divine itself, that we are holding space so that a divine being can see itself is itself divine. That is the greatest gift to receive and to share. Thank you, Laura. And thank you so much, Esther. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you again. I love you. And mine, thank you for being yourselves. I could have said yourself. I love you, and you are part of me. Yep. When we say, and I love that, that's what we're doing. We're allowing what is already a part of us, we're allowing it to be. Lily added, and sacred. For holding space so sacred, yes. And Jennifer says, thank you for the space to feel my feelings and welcome in the strong connection I feel with those around me. Thank you for the space to feel my feelings and be welcome in the strong connection I feel with those around me. Just want to make sure I'm reading it kind of in a way that is the way you're speaking it. For allowing my full range of feelings and others' full range of feelings. Thank you for the wholeness. Just let that in. Let in what the environment that you're creating, the way that your energy is intertwined and allowing others. And Kathy says, thank you for creating a space I will miss. One of the ways to keep this space is to share it. So one of the possibilities I wrote for our group is that we become those who share. We become leaders, and you already are. You wouldn't be doing this if you weren't. You already are. So allow that wisdom, trust that intuition to show you how it is that you are continuing this ripple. And Marilyn, thank you for being. That's a absolutely perfect, beautiful way to finish. I have your email, and you will hear from me again. You know, in addition to getting this video, of course I'll send you the video like I always do, but you will hear from me because I have something cooking that I'd like to offer. And you are available. I'm available for you. You can always use my scheduler if you want to schedule time. I know, Laura, you and I talked about making time. So please let me know if you want to have time together. I'm going to send out another email to everyone about donations. If you want to make another donation for the course. What else? So I can't, I don't, I'm trying to think of like, do I have any other things that I don't? I love you. You know, I don't want to say goodbye, but it's time. And go to the Facebook page anytime you feel like it. And I love you. I love you. Thank you, Lily. Namaste. Good night.